Hello everybody. Nice to see so many people here at a booth. Welcome to the IBC 2014 here at the Maxon booth. We have a great lineup of people that do very creative stuff with Cinema 4D. And this one is no exception here. He's doing a lot of awesome stuff. You probably have seen his video of the Paper City, where he makes stop-motion animation believable in Cinema 4D, and that's what he's going to show today. You probably also have seen his video about knitting in Cinema 4D, which also looks awesome. He started as a director, actually, years ago, and started with 3D in 2003, and now he's here on our stage, a great freelancer doing a lot of great stuff, and he's showing this now to our audience. So, please welcome Pingo van der Brinkloev.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey everybody. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'm just going to start off by showing this film. I don't know about this full screen feature here with QuickTime on a Windows machine, so I'm just going to do it like this. And I think it has sound on it. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so this thing, what is it actually? It actually started out this whole project as kind of a test on multiple levels. I wanted to. Oh, got some feedback here. I wanted to see if, first of all, if it was possible to do this stop motion animation kind of. And automate it somehow, and also if it was possible to make some kind of paper that a paper shader that looked good. And also I had this idea about I saw all these things coming up on iStock with the iStock video, and with a lot of kind of like a scene like this, like a time lapse of a city, and you could have the world in the end here with like connections, and it was all people. It was either real film or it was people trying to do it in 3D, making it look real, and it was more or less successful. So I got this idea about making generic stock footage, and so I made these scenes, and they're actually loops, and I'm just gonna see if I can find one of the loops. I can. It's what's called a zoetrope. So this scene of the airport, it goes on for 5 seconds, and then it kind of repeats itself. So it'll go on forever, but you won't really notice it. I'll show you inside the program. Anyway, I uploaded all these. I made these films. I made it in 14 days. I made the small clips and uploaded them to iStock Photo, and absolutely nothing happened, which was kind of funny, and also like, oh, okay, so this is just not a good idea, apparently. But then half a year after, I thought, like, well, I'm just going to edit it together to like a short film. And it was actually my girlfriend who said, like, what should I call it? And she said, well, it's paper. I said, okay, it's paper. And I think I made it in a day or something and uploaded it to Vimeo, and it kind of exploded in my face. And it had, I think it has, I don't know how many 100,000 views now. I was very popular. So that actually kind of brought me here today with this presentation. So I'm going to show you a bit about how it's actually done in Cinema 4D. I made a tutorial about this, which is available. So if some of you have seen that, this is going to be kind of a repetition. But I'm also going to go into some of the other scenes that are not on the tutorial. They might come up in a part 2 which is in production still. But this city here, we're going to start with the models. And I think I have a Cinema 4D open here. And if we just start with a new one, and it is really, this is not going to be, the first part of this is not going to be really advanced. It's more like going to be like how you can really easily build something. And then some of the later parts I'm going to show you a bit more advanced stuff. But really, really simple here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm using the line tool here. I'm just drawing some kind of shape. It's goddamn ugly. I'm hurrying up here because if you want to make paper, it's actually pretty hard to make a little car in paper. So you kind of want to do it fast because you're going to get all kinds of errors. You don't want to make it too nice because you're gonna lose some of the credibility of it. So this is starting to look like, okay, a car from the side, right? I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to say soft interpolation here. Just move in. This is just the basic line tools here. So, whoops. Soft interpolation. Going back here. And again, not make it too pretty actually. And then up here we go and basically we drop down an extrude node. Put this one in here, and we actually have a car already. And that's all really good. It's not quite there. I'm just gonna. The modeling of these things are not procedural. It's a very destructive modeling, but that's actually kind of a fun part of doing this. No going back. So going to the downside, we don't. Well, hold on. Just gonna go in here to this one. Wanna remove these faces down here, and already now I can see that there's some things that you might want to do, might want to correct. Whoops. See what happened here? That's because we need to go into the command and we need to optimize this. What optimize does it takes all these points at the end, and if they're close together, it merges them together here with the tolerance tool. So now I'm going to be able to go in and move this. Whoops. Move this in here. Still not working. Oh, I didn't do that yet. Sorry, I'm just so focused over here. That's cool. Connect objects and delete. Very, very important. And then I can do the optimize, which should just work now. Thanks for that. Big screen. Still not working. Point selected. Is that it? Right? And then the optimize. Maybe this should work, right? Does. Okay. Very important. Anyway, this is just a basic shape. So in order to make this this guy kind of give it this crumbling feeling, it's actually also done at the polygon level. Okay, I might want to do a few windows in this, perhaps. Could be an idea. I'm here, visible only. I'm using the knife tool here just to cut some shapes, and real simple, easy. And I press I for the inset, and if I could just do that now, I'm going to say, whoa, over here, it kind of connects them together. So we need to unclick this preserve groups here, so we get them separately. Boom, delete, and it's got windows. And then again, I'm going to take the knife tool, and I think visible only. I'm just using it as it is. This should pretty much work on all machines without having to use all kinds of special settings. This is out of the box Cinema 4D functionality. Anyway, make a lot of cuts. I think I did a mistake already that I did on the tutorial also, which is that I forgot to subdivide to lower the subdivision on the spline. So this is very detailed, too detailed, because when I put this, I'm going to crumble this now, and I'm actually going to use just going to use a MoGraph effector to crumble it. I'm going to drop it underneath here. All the MoGraph effectors, you can use them as deformers if you just put it to point here. That's a little too radical. I'll go in here, just say 1 centimeter each. You can see that it starts to crumble. I want to get rid of, basically, really for this one, just this is the funk tag. It decides the angle where the shading should break. And I'm actually going to get totally rid of this tag. So now you can see that we have some crumbling going on here. And this is the beauty of it, like down here with the wheel, where it gets kind of like, oh, that kind of looks messed up. I would probably just leave it as it is, because I mean, you might try and do this with a pair of scissors, and you're gonna mess it up, and it's gonna be a really small car and stuff. So it kind of looks, kind of adds to the overall realism and helplessness of this whole thing. Anyway, let's just go move on here. I'm not gonna save this. I am gonna move on to just this is just the models of it, everything of only. I have there was a diner made here. You can see here, small little diner. There's what is this? A crossing? Yeah, I made some a crossing for the street, and this is that was actually kind of funny to make, because that is actually a bit procedural. You have a cloner here, so you can I can decide how far it's going to be, and the cloner's got some random on the on this one. It's just the random effector. Since the random effector is underneath this null that contains all of the geometry, and it is a deformer on the point, it'll just deform anything underneath this one. So whatever I build here, whatever hierarchy, this is what gets deformed. The other random effector is not a deformer. It is made to position and rotation these. So you can see, so it gets a little random, but not on the y-axis, because I want to place them eventually on some kind of floor plane, and I don't want them to penetrate the floor. What else do we have? We have a palm tree. Where is it? It's here, which is also more or less procedural. I don't know. Still, I don't think I am using the trick with making the noise on the palm tree. I think it didn't look good. We have a lamp, and these are all like basic box modeling techniques. The house here, also pretty basic. You can really get away with a lot of things when you're doing this, and it has to look like a paper model and cut. It's so yeah, it's very liberating to actually to do something that's so easy sometimes. And got a little guy here somewhere. Whoops, he's a bit big. Anyway, let's move on. Let's see what else do we have here. You can stop me at any time if you have any questions.
Animated it, or is that a motion capture?
Come again?
The walking guy?
He's not walking, he's just moving.
Yeah, okay, but there is a little animation
No.
going.
He's not going with his legs, no. He's just going like this from side to side. there's so much going on in these scenes that you don't realize that actually there's not a lot going on. Maybe I should just show you the final city here. This is it really, and I think I've set it up to. I don't know if you can see the loop here, but I can sure. Yeah, I can. You can see down here on the timeline. This actually goes up to 150. It should only go to, you all know that, 149, right? Because the last frame is the same as the first one. So if we have that with us, we're going to get a jump. So anyway, set to 149. And you can actually see here that now the timeline starts over, but the scene kind of goes on. So you would think that if we follow this bus, that it should be out when it ends the frame, but it isn't. And that's because there's two of them. So this position, when it's here, going on the first frame, when it reaches the end of the timeline here, there's going to be another bus in exactly that position. The same with you can actually see. Can you see that the guys they're not walking. They're just But I made a walking pose on them. Yeah. So. To the shading of it. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm not used to working on a PC and Cinema 4D, so this is going to take a while. Can I just? I'm keeping this in R15, but all of this should be possible in release 16 as well. It's just because I need to be sure that nothing changes. The shading of this, it's done with, it's a mix of global illumination and one simple shader. There's one material applied to everything here. And the trick to making paper is, I might actually show that in just a new scene here. Paper is translucent. So it is so thin that it lets the light from the other side. Actually, you can see it on the opposite side. So the way to illustrate this is if we take these two, I'm going to make a material. I'm going to make a light first. I think I can do this with actually we're just making a physical sky. Won't that add a sun to it? Yeah, there's a sun here, and it has a shadow on, I think. Yeah, cool. So we can see now that these are just dark. But if we look at them from the other side, you can see that, oh, there's a shadow hitting this one. So this shadow here, I'm pointing at the screen, that's really clever. I'm pointing with the mouse. This shadow here needs to pass through on the other side. And you're doing that by, this was the floor, right? Yeah, so nothing on that. In the luminance channel here, you add an effect called backlight. And you can see it already now, that it's transporting the shadow to the opposite side. And there's like different, you can go into this, there's like some different stuff that you can mess around with. I'm explaining all of this in the big tutorial on the internet also. Let's go back to the other one. Here it is. So the final material here, really simple. The color, I'm taking the color down because of the luminance brings up the luminance, so I have to take the color back down. And here it is, the luminance. I'm setting this one down, and the backlight here, really simple. Nothing fancy here. But this blended together with the render settings, which is global illumination, and I'm using Quasi Monte Carlo and radiosity maps. This doesn't flicker. It can't flicker. If I would use some other stuff like one of these radiance casts or something like that, this would flicker. And initially I thought, well, this is a great way of doing stop motion, because if you're moving something around like in real life and making stop motions, you get flicker because somebody's gonna hit a light and stuff. But it was horrible to look at when I tried it with flickering. So I kind of got rid of it. Anyway, the secret to getting this these kind of bounces all the way is you go into the secondary method. That is when the first one here, the quasi Monte Carlo, the light hits, and then for the secondary one, whatever is lit up here will emit these photons. And what I do is you pump these the intensity of these, you pump it up. So now you see this is just basic with nothing, and if you pump the secondary up, you get like these blown out areas, which makes it really believable, because this paper has this tendency to like, it takes the lights and it kind of like expands it, kind of what should I say, like enhances it. It looks like this. Anyway, once you have this, and the beauty of this is that this is I like working like this, where you make a setup, you make a material that looks like this, and you can apply it to anything, and the light is just the same, and it's the same lighting setup in all of these scenes for consistency. And for example, if we go and didn't I have that open? Well, maybe I didn't. You can see it here. It's there's one material, and that's it. No, nothing else. Okay, how much time now? Okay, let's look at some of the other scenes here.
Making the things move, did you do like the lines of spline, or did you do a map?
Yeah. Let me just talk about that. The cars here. Let me see if I can select them. Doink. Here's a car cloner, and it is set to object, and it's on a spline, and I am animating the offset. Because I have 10 cars, the offset has to be only 20% animated, because of some math. I have 10 cars, and 10 cars divided by, let me see. Yeah, this has something to do with how fast I want the cars to be, and it has to be an even number, because if it's not, then the cars won't be in the same place. And this is also something that I'm approaching in the tutorial, because I actually had to sit down and figure out what is really going on here, and there is a formula to calculate this, which is totally simple. You just have to know it. I totally forgot it now. Sorry about that. You tend to do this, right? What it is that on this car thing, what you can see when it's going, the cars, they have like this kind of like randomness to them, and it's in the effectors. And because this is just straight up, you can see the cars going now, really boring. And then I have this, I put a wiggle on them, where I'm just rotating the heading of them, and I am using a global noise, because then when the cars pass through, it's like a noise that just, it's static, but it's global. When the cars pass through, if it's black, they'll turn right. If it's white, they'll turn left. This noise, it's kind of like a texture. And the other effector is the random on the z-axis, and it is it's also a global turbulence, but what it does, it's softer. So this car is driving forward, and then it hits a kind of a black area, and it kind of pushes it backwards in the z-axis, but it will pass this area, and after it does that, it speeds up again. So that kind of gives it this like motion, like they're kind of hesitating. I have a really funky one over here. I think it's easier to see in another scene that I made, which is this one, I think, on the tutorial. I have this single car, down here. Where is it? It's just good fun to make. And this car, it's driving along, and then it comes up to the intersection, and it kind of pauses before it goes out. And there is actually there's a plane effector here also. This is great functionality of MoGraph, where when it comes close to this, it just moves it in the C direction. So it will pass that, and after it does that, it speeds up again. It's a great way of adding some kind of like intelligence to these things. Just want to show you the roads. Oh, it's already open, isn't it? Window. Roads, yeah. This one on the tutorial that is coming out, I'm actually showing how to build this as a digital asset, where you can draw a line, and it will draw a road complete with all of these pylons, and the cars will follow along. And it's the same technique. I saw a tutorial a couple of weeks ago that Hello Looks did on something, and it's exactly the same technique, where you have a spline. You can see that I have it here, kind of a master spline, and you're parenting the cars so that you're extruding the road along that spline, and the power of it is this this alternate spline on top of it, which is what's it called, an instance of the first one, and you use that as a rail spline. And that way you can just and if you build one hierarchy like this, you can copy paste it, and it'll keep all these things that have something to do with it, or that this spline is connected to that one. It'll stay inside of this kind of container that you have, so you can build a kind of a digital asset. I didn't even know that it could do that, but once I started like dragging it up, I was like, oh no, then it's going to be connected to this one, the previous one, because of the naming, but it doesn't. It stays inside this null for some reason. I don't know. Somebody apparently thought about that. Let's see. Still some time. Another thing I did actually also was, the airport. What's going on here? Yep. The airport, that is brute force modeled, because the airplanes here, I couldn't, I had to know actually, I had to kind of start from one. I built the models first, same procedure as the other ones, and I laid out the airport, and I had an idea about, okay, what does a real airport look like? So they land here, and then they have to go to transit, and there's like there's a gate over here that attaches to the plane and stuff. So I started out with, I think it was actually the jumbo that I started out with, and I said like, okay, it comes from there, it goes down here again, it goes out to the landing, and it does like this, and then it takes off. But it also lands down here, and it turns left, and it goes in and takes over that position in there. So I started with one plane, then I said, okay, where is now that I'm missing something over here. I'm going to make a smaller plane, and it was that one. And I animated that path, and I thought when it stops there, then the little luggage car has to come out, and it has to go inside. And when I'd done that, I started placing the animations right next to each other. And at some point, I was able to get a loop. And that is why the timeline here is kind of like, starts at a weird position, 240 to 340 something. But again, this will go on forever. The helicopter was really fun to make. The little propeller going around. But again, I have some different materials here because of I wanted windows in whoops. I wanted windows in the airplanes. So and I actually did that with the textures are missing. I did it with the texture. a black and white texture and mapped it to the alpha, which worked fine. Let's see if I have something else. I also managed to. Oh, I'm missing some. I'm missing some fonts here. This was pretty cool. This is. I made an alphabet to export, and this is actually changing. Let's see. Impact. I'm changing the typographies here, but these typographies are not installed. But what's going on is it's just a mode text, and because of the nature that that text elements are built up here, if I just put the random effector on, it'll make these little bends in it that looks like it's crumpled paper. So this is really totally procedural. I mean, write anything here, and you'll have it. Boom. What else? Oh.
When you're rendered, you use ambient occlusion as well to get like the details in it.
I did at first, but then it actually annoyed me because when you have paper meeting each other like this, it doesn't get ambient occlusion. It actually gets like almost a kind of like a reversed ambient occlusion where it lights up. So I ended up removing it. I think I do on that. Was it this one? Yeah, on this photo, I think there is actually ambient occlusion on. So I think you might be right, but I removed it for the animation. Let's see. Still got some time. The skiing. This is some preparation for. Let's see if this is possible. This is preparation for the tutorial, so I pre-recorded this. So bear with me here. But just to show you how it was done. The ski scene starts out with a spline. Oh. I can't even... Sorry? Control tree. Thank you. You're starting out with... this is what you want to end up with. You start out with the spline, which is extruded here. And then, after you have that, you align the skiers to it. A little rucksack for him. And what you do when you have that is that you start to build the mountain off of that. Let's see where I have it. Yeah, here. And that is really, it has to be done by hand. There is no procedural way of doing that. Control tree, that was a good one. So building up all this stuff. Building a full mountain. Yeah. I think, are there any questions towards this making paper? No. Yeah. Really simple. Imagine this is, let's see if I can do a real quick example of it. I'm gonna hit C. This I do not need now. No. Yeah. Just cutting this up, right? This is just for show. So this is my world that which is a flat map of the world, of course. You see, you know all the countries, right? That was very fast. The trick is in let's see if I'm lucky and it's this one. Yeah, it is. So there you go. Line all these up. Get a map from somewhere, and there you have your world. That is basically it. And I've wrapped that around a. Let's see. It's wrapped around a sphere with, render perfect. It didn't work. If everything was crumbled, it looked weird. This, the pins that you see here, animating on. Let's have a look at those. How did I do that? I think I forgot. There is, of course, this is interesting. There's a fracture, of all these edges. I think I made an object that is the tutorial on this one isn't finished. I made an object where there was a point on each location, and then I used the atom array to kind of make these lines, and they are, you put them into a fracture up, they kind of like, they react like it's like a MoGraph object, but you can control where they are. And the fracture, I'm pretty sure that it has this plane effector on, which is where it's this one, and I'm animating a plane effector with visibility, so they pop on. This looks easier than it really was, because getting them to, you can also see that up here, the line appears before the pin. It was kind of like, it was actually a bit annoying to do this. But anyway, it did the trick. Okay. Anything else? I don't think so. I just want to real quick tell you about some other stuff that I'm doing. I'm making a seminar called Advanced Production Techniques. You might have seen the old one. It's available on Vimeo. I'm just going to play a little trailer for it here, if it can actually play.
So a lot of the stuff you're going to be
the last one was in Copenhagen, and I had six guys flown in to do a seminar. Simon Holmerdal, that you already saw here earlier. I had Yader, who's doing some insane stuff, and we're doing this seminar again now. We're doing it in Berlin in December with some oldies and some new faces. We're going to have Manuel Casasola Merkel from my sponsor. We're going to have a 19-year-old coder called Niklas Rosenstein, who's going to, he's agreed to just build a plugin live in 1 hour. Right, Niklas? We have Michael Auerswald, who's going to introduce us to scripting. Great way of,
as I said, you should
automating a lot of stuff, very advanced stuff in Cinema 40. Raphael, who's here, he's going to talk about shading, and he's going to talk about, not last time it was about V-Ray, this time he's going to talk more about using physical correct shaders. So this is like going to be all over, it's going to be something that you can apply to basically any render as long as it's physical, even the Cinema 4D internal one. There's a small trailer here for the next seminar that might play better than this film that I just played. Sorry?
Presumably be in German.
No, it's going to be in English. Yeah, and the last time this came out as a Vimeo on demand, as a product available on Vimeo. But if you check out this website, there's going to be a lot of information there, and you can sign up. And if you sign up, you actually get a discount on the first one. Yeah, definitely you should think about this. I'm trying to make this one available in some form, also as online acquisition somehow afterwards. It's going to be a bit different this time, but you'll know more about that. And just the last one, because I think it was really funny. Oh, that was the last one. It has to say here, book your seat now, because all the seats are going pretty fast. So I actually have we have 50 sign-ups already, and there's plenty of room though. But you might want to hurry, because a seat is €700, and it's for 2 days, food inclusive, and including you get the material, you get the scene files afterwards. You have to find accommodation yourself if you're not in Berlin. There's a little party for all of us and stuff. So yeah, but check it out if you want to. And any questions, come and find me afterwards. I'll stick around here. Okay, cool.